Anna, thanks so much. Well, parents, a heads up, it's National Poison Prevention Week. It got us talking about the unfortunate reality of how children ages 5 and younger are dying from opioid overdoses.
Joining us to talk about it is Christy Edlin. She's with the Oklahoma Center for Drug and Poison Information. Thanks for talking to us. This is kind of alarming to talk about children under the age of 5 overdosing on drugs in the home. What do parents need to keep in mind if they are going to have drugs or opioids in the home?
Right. I think that probably the biggest reason to have them in most homes is after you have surgery, obviously like a minor pain, where people are really using them probably for a short amount of time, and rather than getting rid of those, they stay around in our house. We kind of forget that they're there. So obviously keeping medications up and out of reach of kiddos is always paramount, but then also making sure that we're cleaning out our medication cabinets, especially of those opioid medications, through take-back events and things like that.
What other drugs are doctors seeing that are either causing children to die or harm them of having too much or having access to them?
So opioids will always be on the radar, of course. Here in Oklahoma, we've actually seen a little bit of a downtrend in opioids, but unfortunately we've seen quite the uptick in marijuana exposures.
Oh, goodness.
I would say definitely at least one a day, call to the Poison Center. In 2022, we actually had 269 cases. Those are just cases that are reported to the Poison Center. So there's obviously no obligation to call and report those. And so we only see a small snippet. And so we're seeing a ton of those.
Oh, that's so shocking. What do you do if your child ingests marijuana or opioids?
So obviously if they're having severe symptoms, if they're unconscious, having a seizure, not breathing, that's an automatic call to 911. Any other call, especially if you're not even quite sure, do I take them straight to the emergency room? Is this something that I can watch at home? It's important to realize that we have pharmacists and nurses 24 hours a day at the Poison Center. And so you can call that 1-800 number, 1-800-222-1222, and you can talk with a pharmacist or a nurse that is specifically trained in these types of exposures. And they'll ask a few questions to see, can you stay at home, or is it something that you need to go to the emergency room for?
A lot of this falls on the parents, the responsibility of keeping these out of a child's way.
It does, it does. I know it's very stressful as a mom myself, all these things that you have to think about with kiddos. But yeah, lock boxes are great. So if you can get your hands on a lock box, I know sometimes around the city there are events where you can get free lock boxes. Those are great to try to keep things locked away, but at the very least in a high cabinet, preferably with a lock where kiddos aren't getting into those.
Christy, quickly, how often should you go back through your medicine cabinet? Like once a year?
You know, once a year would be great, or we're changing the batteries in our smoke detectors at time change, right? And so you might even do that around time change every year. Every 6 months, go through the medication cabinet and throw those things away.
Christy Edlin, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thanks for coming in.